However, in the guide, one of the guides that came out, it actually said that it could be planet surface or planet, so you could either translate it either way. And the anime, like, Boros literally says, I'm going to be destroying the planet with my full power. And he says this right as he's charging his last attack. Now, the very interesting thing is that one of the guides, it was like the Compass Guidebook, I believe it's called, is the one that was in the special edition of the Saitama, like, Blu-ray. It actually stated that Saitama was actually able to fight against Boros, and Boros, even in his form before Meteoric Burst, was already planetary. So that means, like, Saiyan Saga level is, like, bare minimum. In his final form, it said that he actually has the power to destroy entire stars. It was confirmed now. Now we know that the star-busting cannon is not a hyperbole. It's, like, actual fact now that it can destroy a star. If we say Boros is, like, relative to Frieza in the Namek Saga, if Saitama beat him with, like, a really small portion of his power, I mean, we've said several times, like, 1% is pretty generous. We don't know what percentage he used. But to say that, let's say Saitama used, like, a 1 quintessillionth of his power, I mean, it's kind of stretching it, because even that very guide says that even Saitama was clubbered up a little bit. Pretty sure that's what the guide says, that Saitama actually has some trouble with him. If we say Saitama's, like, several times stronger than Boros, bare minimum, even while barely using any, like, source of his power, then you can definitely see that he might stack up pretty well against, even Namek Saga characters. And we actually did a video about Cell vs. Saitama. We did this back in May, I believe, and we said that even that a highball Saitama could be around those cell levels of power, being that he would be like a solar system level being. Would this mean that Saitama could beat Krillin? Well, the thing is, you need to get more into how strong Krillin has gone in determinant of power. Obviously, you need to scale him from Android 18, which is actually very interesting, because there's a lot of information that actually details that Krillin might be a lot stronger than we thought before, maybe even stronger than Namek Saga Super Saiyan Goku, and that is a fact, and we're going to get into that next.
Yeah, so essentially with Boros, you could say he's star level to be very generous. However, there is a problem. So the main problem here is that there are multiple translations for how Boros versus Saitama went. So in the webcomic, he says, I'm going to wipe you off the face of the earth. In the manga, he says, I'm going to destroy the surface of the earth. And then the data book says, hey, he can destroy the surface or the earth. And then the One Punch Man compass says he can destroy planets to stars. However, a lot of people, especially on Reddit, have gone out of their way to translate this, and they said the translation could actually be planets, sun, or a sun. It could either be a planet or a sun. And obviously, Boros being planet level is the more consistent showing. It's the more consistently stated and translated variant of how his power works. The star one is actually an outlier. It's like 0.5 out of 4 options, pretty much. So it's really highballing. So a highballed Boros would be star level. I'd say that how he should normally be scaled would definitely be planetary, as stated, and a low ball would be that he's surface wiper, obviously. So from there, if we're using a highballed Saitama, he would scale to be numerous times star level if you give him the benefit of the doubt. Notice how many benefits of the doubt we have to give these characters. We can't just argue with them normally. Give Saitama the extreme benefit of the doubt and say he only used 1% against Boros. A serious punch is serious versus a character that also destroyed his limits. Boros did state that he's not mortal, limited like mortals are. Uses a serious punch, stated in the One Punch Man compass as well, that people used to highball him. Is only 1% is also generous. So over at least 100 times star level, right? However, Krillin scales to current Android 18. Now, 18 in the past fought Super Saiyan Trunks. Super Saiyan Trunks is the same guy that gutted Mecha Frieza, the same one that was stronger than Frieza, who's hundreds of times stronger than his first form, and beyond that. But he thought he was stronger than Super Saiyan Goku at that point. Trunks guts him like butter, and then Trunks comes in, with a little bit more training, a little bit more power, versus Android 18, and Android 18 completely tanks his sword slash and snaps his sword or cracks it just by holding her arm up. So Super Saiyan star levels of power don't even make this android flinch. So that means if Boros shot a star level attack at 18, so you quite literally block it with one arm without even moving. So that's something that you really need to consider here. And that's if you're being generous to Boros, which he's probably not even that level to begin with. And then next, Krillin and 18 train for Dragon Ball Super. They prepare to be ass pulled by Toriyama to be relevant, right? And this is kind of showed with Android 17 as well. Android 17 just kind of casually training on his little island, just fighting poachers, doesn't really care too much about anything, maybe doing a little push-up here or there, is capable of fighting Super Saiyan 3 to Super Saiyan Blue,